The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has declared that it will appoint private enterprises to supervise the management and upkeep of its refineries located in Warri and Kaduna. Through its official X account, the national oil firm disclosed this information in a circular on Thursday. According to NNPCL, these businesses will be essential to maintaining sustainability and dependability in order to meet the country's energy needs and energy security and gasoline supply. Energy consumers are also, in another story, protesting the decision of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, to increase the cost of a single-phase electricity meter to more than 130,000 naira from 88,000 naira in the first quarter of this year. This is the second time such an increment will be effected. The price of a single-phase meter ranged from 130,000 naira to 139,000 naira, while a three-phase meter was sold between 219,000 naira and 229,000 naira, depending on the vendor. This comes as some consumers who have yet to be metered continue to lament high estimated billing from their electricity distribution companies. Meanwhile, the federal government has approved a 50% electricity subsidy for all public hospitals and public tertiary institutions, including universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education across the country. The Minister of State for Health, Dr. Tunji Alausa, disclosed this at the National Air Care Center, Kaduna, during the commissioning of several completed projects on Thursday. The minister said that very soon, hospitals and the public education system will begin to enjoy a significant reduction in prices as the implementation plans and strategies were being developed by the relevant ministry. And the Nigerian government has revoked a no-work, no-pay policy in response to a warning strike begun by resident doctors over the abduction of their colleague. Dr. Ganiyat Kukola was kidnapped from her home in the middle of the night 8 months ago. The Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare says it is working with security agencies, including the Office of the National Security Advisor, to ensure a safe rescue. The minister has called on all resident doctors to return to the negotiation table to find a lasting solution to the challenges plaguing the healthcare sector. I'm now being joined by energy expert Dan Kunle. Mr. Dan Kunle will help us look at some of these issues. Good evening, Mr. Kunle. Thank you for joining us on This Day Live, the Sunday talk show.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. You are welcome back from your holiday. I hope you are re-energized fully now.
Well, thank you
very much.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Dan Kunle, let's start with the issue of production in the refineries. We have been told that the mechanically completed refinery in Port Harcourt will start production in August, and that the Kaduna refinery will be fully on stream by December. Both of these refineries have a capacity of about 235,000 barrels per day. But now the same NNPCL has told us that, well, what we're looking at is an operations and maintenance contract with private investors. In other words, they want to concession those two refineries. Do you think that there's a way there and that this may solve the problem of, finished product, PMS, that is?
Yeah, Dr. Abati, I am at times I'm very sad at times when I pick the newspaper or see breaking news. NNPC wants to concession Warri Refinery, Kaduna Refinery on O&M basis. O&M, that is operate and manage basis, to look for managers to come and manage on their behalf. And I'm also not happy that today is 1st September, that NNPC chief executive promised the country and said, I quote him, he said, this time, I am not lying. Port Harcourt Refinery will work before the end of August. Today is 1st September. Perhaps Port Harcourt Refinery, maybe by crypto petrol. I don't know whether we have gotten crypto petrol around the country by now from Port Harcourt Refinery. I use the word crypto. I hope you know what I mean by that. So that is, maybe people are getting petrol from Port Harcourt Refinery on their handsets through crypto delivery. I'm not too sure. But again, let's leave that one, since we know the refinery, the small refinery in Port Harcourt may come up, it may not come up, because there may be a lot of headaches technically. So let's see what they want to do with that small refinery, 60,000. God will spare our life. We are in the beginning of September, so let's leave that one. But to go to the second leg of your question, the capacity of Port Harcourt Refinery, new and old, you know, is 210. If you add Kaduna, that is just 110. Is you know, plus Warri, everything is 445,000 barrel capacity. But if they want to give out Warri Refinery and Kaduna Refinery through this ad hoc arrangement for O&M, why will this country go on that lane again? Why? If you take the history of all the technical managers we have tried to employ to manage public assets in Nigeria, I remember that Nigeria have attempted in the past to get foreign manager to manage railway in this country. I think the Indians. The thing didn't work. We got public manager. We got managers to come and manage, to partner with Nigeria Airways at a time, I think KLM. It didn't work. And recent history also prove when Manitoba, the best high tension transmission power company in the world, Manitoba of Canada, was brought to manage transmission company of Nigeria by BP. They were frustrated out of this country in 2015-16. It didn't work. President Obasanjo concession Ajaokuta Steel Company Limited through Minister of Power and Steel to the Indians, Global Steel. They were frustrated out of this country. It didn't work. Although they are lucky, they claim huge money. They claim a fortune out of the clauses in the contract. So why is this ad hoc arrangement now again? Why are we going to? I am pleading with you, Dr. Abati, and the core group of this country, the intellectuals, to prevail on President Tinubu and the vice president of this country and the National Economic Council to get BPE, the privatization agency, National Council on Privatization, and MOFI, Minister of Finance Incorporation, and Minister of Petroleum Incorporation, to please ensure that these refineries, all these subsidiaries that are limited liability companies as subsidiary in NNPC, since they are incorporated, they should get them out and privatize them. Let people buy the share and own it so that the core investor will know this is my company. LMA Petrochemical, which is now in Dorama in Port Harcourt, is making fortunes for this country because it was properly privatized. So I don't know why NNPC and their management and the board, I don't know why they are going this route again, to take us on another lane of futility and exercising futility.
Mr. Kunle, let us
look. So please,
Mr.
Thank
Kunle,
you.
let us look at it this way. I mean, there's been so much talk about Dangote Refinery. We are told that Dangote Refinery will start producing PMS by this month or by end of August. The whole idea is to bring in other operators into the market, O&M, to ramp up production so that we can meet domestic production and prices will go down. And this challenge of fuel scarcity that we have been facing will disappear. So do you see the logic in what the NNPC is trying to do?
Dr. Abati and gentlemen and the country fellow men, I am completely embarrassed by anybody who will think that the ad hoc arrangement of bringing O&M manager to Warri and Kaduna refineries will be what will bring petrol to every petrol station in Nigeria. In fact, in itself, it's already a deceit. It's a racket. Because I give you an example of Kaduna Refinery today. The crude pipeline that we feed Kaduna Refinery from Escravos Manifold through Chanomi Creek to Warri Refinery. I'm not sure if that crude pipeline has ever worked in the last 15 or 20 years. So, and then the crude pipeline from Warri Refinery to Kaduna, I'm not sure if it has worked in the last 18 years. So how will any O&M manager, operator and manager, come and risk his money and sign a contract to operate Kaduna Refinery? I think Daewoo of South Korea are the one rehabilitating Kaduna Refinery currently. I think YKBR is rehabilitating Warri Refinery. Daewoo is a South Korea company. They didn't build Kaduna Refinery. It was built by Chiyoda of Japan. And Chiyoda is not the one rehabilitating. So the O&M manager that is coming, who will give him certificate of completion and compliances for him to risk his reputation to manage Kaduna Refinery. Kaduna Refinery as it is today, if you have not fixed that pipeline that will bring crude to that place, it cannot work in the next 1 year unless you are going to truck crude. If you truck crude to that place, so how will petrol come out? How much will be the cost of that petrol per liter by the time you refine it in Kaduna Refinery? And it is an exercise in futility. These people don't just want to follow the right advice because they think temporarily they are enjoying the political power of office. The people who were there in 2007, 2008, who frustrated the sales of all those assets, refinery, where are they today? Are they still the one in power? No. Some of them are living like me and regretting. Oh, if we had known, we would have cooperated with government to privatize this thing that time.
Okay.
So I am sorry, Dr. Abati. These two refineries cannot, the operator, the new manager they want to bring, cannot bring petrol to anywhere in this country. Petrol, look, the total refining capacity of Port Harcourt, of Warri and Kaduna, will not give this country even 15 million liters a day. The two combined. It's not even possible. It's not possible.
Okay.
15 million liters of PMS will never come out of Warri and Kaduna.
Okay.
So forget about it. It will not just happen. It's another racket. It's another racket in the office.
What they are talking about is getting the Port Harcourt and the Kaduna refineries to work. They are not talking about the Warri refineries. Or is it Warri and Kaduna? Warri and Kaduna, whatever. But you said there is no fuel, there is no crude being supplied to Kaduna Refinery. But there has just been a report of a chemical pollution coming from that same Kaduna Refinery. If there is no crude oil there, where would there be any case of a spill, crude oil spill from that refinery, resulting in people protesting in Kaduna?
Dr. Abati, in my younger age, as far back as 1990, 91, 92, Dr. Abati, I go to Kaduna Refinery as at that time as a consultant. There is a sulfur recovery unit in Kaduna. Sulfur recovery unit. I was struggling to rehabilitate it for Kaduna Refinery in the early 90s because it was not working very well. The refinery has not worked. Wherever the remnants of crude that are left in all those vessels and pipes there may be the one that has corroded and polluted the environment, because if they are not well kept and maintained, I don't know where crude has gotten to Kaduna. Whether crude has gone there by truck, I cannot say. But it cannot be by pipe. If it is by pipe, it will be announced that the pipeline is now working. It will be announced. So whatever pollution that the community there are expressing their anger against now must be those remnants of the unclean up, or the level of corrosion there may be what is worrying them. Maybe they are just being proactive, that look, you people are coming back again. So please, I want to talk scientifically. So I'm not too sure if new crude has gotten to Kaduna Refinery. From my findings as an insider in the industry, I'm not too sure. Maybe they took some there by truck because of the test running they may want to do. Okay, so that I cannot say no. But by pipe, I doubt.
Okay,
but the community have reason to be concerned. They have reason to be concerned because I remember that sulfur recovery unit was never working. In fact, I contacted many sophisticated companies in America at that time to fix that sulfur recovery unit. Okay. I remember very well. Okay, so they need to be very, So
let's bring this to the level of the common man. The common man has been struggling to find fuel, PMS, in the filling stations across the country for the past few weeks. Now, Senator Heineken Lukobiri, who is the Minister of State for Petroleum, says, Nigerians should adjust to the fact that they have to pay above the landing price of NNPC to check crude oil theft, to check smuggling. How about that as one of the emerging issues in the oil and gas sector?
Dr. Abati, at times, it is very difficult for me, maybe because of my nature. I would have avoided talking to the issue of the Minister of State Petroleum, Mr. Heineken, Senator Heineken Lukobiri, because he's a Minister of State. He has to be seen to be engaging and talking. He has no any much power. Mr. President is the minister. In fact, I am sure the GMD of NNPC will just be laughing at the Minister of State that, oh, this man has to just keep himself busy. The decision of Mr. President, I have said it that we should all rally around to support the president to succeed. The decision to attempt to liberalize and deregulate PMS was a very bold decision. And that decision had an accident sometimes in August, September last year. Why? Because the uproar was so much. The uproar against the deregulation of petroleum, of fuel price, that is petrol price. The uproar was so much that deregulation that would have been momentum and spread across the month and across the country was more or less halted because the price could not adjust as it's supposed to be. So as of today, what I think technically that will happen is this. The good news coming out of Dangote Refinery is that very soon, within the hours, we may likely get petrol, PMS, coming out of Dangote Refinery. And that will help to stabilize supply. If supply is stabilized, maybe the Minister of State may now see how the market will react. Because if supply is adequate, then price may become stable. But I will not like public officers to be saying price will come down. Where is the capacity for you to bring down price? To bring down price means you must have excess capacity to supply and meet market demand at every hour. So the issue we should be discussing should be supply stability and price stability. Okay. We may have a relatively stable price. Okay. But I will not follow public officers to make pronouncement that they cannot back, they cannot support it, and later on when they are not in office, they just go away with it like that. Okay. As we have had it in the last 10 years in this country.
Mr. Kunle, let's leave the issue about fuel supply and fuel prices and stability within that sector. Let's talk about electricity. I know you are involved with Ibadan Disco, one of the electricity discos. Now, Nigerians are concerned that the price of meter, whether single phase or three phase, has gone up. Electricity bills tariffs, as they're otherwise known, have also gone up. These meters are not available. It even takes about 3 months for people to get the meter. They will pay, they will not get the meter, they will not get electricity, and the Nigerian government talks about metering program to which they are committed, supplying over 1.4 million meters to empower households. You are also in that industry. So what is wrong? They will collect money, they will not bring meter. They will collect money, they will not bring electricity.
Dr. Abati, this is part of the problem of Nigeria. Policies were put in place to deregulate, law was put in place, and a lot of regulations were also rolled out after the law to liberalize the electricity industry in Nigeria. NESI Act, which you know very well of, we tried to deregulate the electricity sector, and we privatized the electricity sector. And electricity meter for your house is just like the telephone in your hand. It's just like the air conditioner in your house or offices. It's like the television, it's like the fridge. So why will federal government in the last 9 years now put focus on just meter? If you build a house of 5 million or 10 million, even mud house in my village, electricity meter for that house, how can it become the headache of the owner of that house? So it means that the state control force, the one I call the commanding height of government, still don't want to let go. Why will government be involved in how a meter of 100,000 naira is bought for a house in Abuja or in any part of Nigeria? Why? So that is why it has not worked, because the contracting system. I was very upset during the period of the former governor of Central Bank, when Central Bank of Nigeria was getting involved in how electricity meter is supplied to homes in Nigeria. Now, for 8 years of that government of President Buhari, they could not sort out the problem of meter for house. Now, the first 1 year of President Tinubu, they are still discussing about how government will supply meter to Nigerian electricity consumers. Can you imagine the high-level policy issues that are involved in the electricity reform are left unattended? It is meter. This issue has been lingering since President Obasanjo time. There was a metering contract that was given by old NEPA before we transformed to power holding company, that the money was languishing in the bank for more than 17 years. So why can't leadership in this country look at higher issues and allow these small components to be managed? Okay, the discos supposed to be the one and their customers who should manage meter. Because nobody tell you what type of telephone handset you have to buy. Nobody tell you what type of air conditioner you have to buy for your house. The technical specification of the meter should be what is universally accepted, so that SON approved it, or the approving technical agencies approved it, the technical specification. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay. Why will a minister be involved Kunle about how meter is put in my house? Okay. Why will so these are the issues that we are out of tune in this part of the world. People get involved in things that are so the issue of it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
You just touch on.
So I don't expect federal government to get involved. Yeah?
Okay,
they should not get involved.
You just touch on.
They should allow the discourse and the yes.
You just touch on another subject that is topical this week: consumer protection, competition. Now, the new Director General of the Federal Consumer Protection Commission, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, Tunji Bello, I just issued a directive now that it's even Nigerians that are cheating people with arbitrary pricing, that the problem is the individual within the business space. And now under his watch, the FCCPC has now said that, look, within a month, they are going to go after people who are just increasing prices anyhow to punish Nigerians who are suffering already from high inflation and other challenges within the economy. What do you say to that? Because there are many dimensions to this attempt to say the consumer can be protected.
Dr. Abati, I will plead with the government of this country, the leadership. I'm pleading with President Tinubu and the Vice President to please call the Director General of the Federal Consumer and Competition Protection Commission to order. Because this is not we are no longer in the decree age. Nigeria is not a productive country. Nigeria is a seller's country. Everybody in Nigeria have shops. Everybody in Nigeria is a seller of what they don't manufacture. So how can the Competitive and Consumer Protection Commission be trying to decree that in your supermarket, in your estate, this is the price they must sell toilet roll? What era are we? What era is that guy? Does that guy understand basic economics? Does he know we are in 2024? He still want to decree the price of toilet roll, decree the price of vegetable oil in the shops? Something must be going wrong somewhere. Because I don't understand what the guy means. There are high-level issues he should face. There are very high-level issues he should face. If you want to subsidize electricity, for example, for the universities, for hospitals, it's understandable. Why? Electricity is a commodity that you can say, this quantum of electricity consumed in this university, I want the price to be like this. I don't want the disco to charge them more than this. So government will take that quantum of electricity for that university and pay it on their behalf. That is understandable. But you cannot go to a shop, a supermarket. Somebody set up a shop in an estate or in a corridor in Abuja. You go there and say he's selling Omo or something very high. How is the guy going to do it? What type of disruption is this? So what exactly do you want the citizens and the shop owners to do in a situation like this? We are all sellers in this country. Just drive around, everybody open shops to sell something. We don't manufacture. So when you operate in a shortage economy like this, I grew up in 1983-84 at Shenko. I was a youth corper in Lagos, Dr. Abati. We go to Apapa Warehouse Road. To go and line up, we wear our cap. To line up for Omo, to line up for, they were importing carnation and sugar and vegetable oil that time, turkey oil. We used to go there monthly to line up in Lagos. So, because everything was controlled. When you liberalize it, you will see it will flow. So why is the anti-competition body now going to supermarket? It's an embarrassment. The president should call him to order. So all the supermarket owners, does he think he can control them? He cannot control them. They will go underground.
Okay, finally.
They will go underground and the price will go even to the roof. So please, all these things look very primitive, very uncivilized. And we must call that guy to order. We have to call him to order. He should face other serious things. Okay. There are other serious things he should face.
Finally, Mr. Dankunle.
It's unfortunate.
Finally, Mr. Dankunle. President Tinubu and the Nigerian team are now in China for the Forum of Chinese African Cooperation, FOCAC. There are issues to talk about. We're told that the president is going there to look for investment, but there's also the unresolved issue of the aircraft seized in France, properties belonging to Nigeria as a sovereign state, seized in Liverpool and also in Canada. Is there any hope that the president will be able to resolve this? Briefly, because we have to go now.
Dr. Abati, you put me on the spot now, because this is a serious international diplomatic crisis at hand. I am very unhappy about it's very regrettable that we had to suffer that level of embarrassment. But let me cast my mind back. The relationship between Nigeria and China was very robust until in the last maybe 2-3 years, because the first visit of President Buhari to China in 2016, I think we signed MOU running to almost $60 billion. And I don't think one was actualized there. So now that we are having crisis with a company based on the agreement they signed with Ogun State, to the extent that our presidential jet has to be fanfare, or what do you call it, seized in France, it is very unfortunate. I'm happy our president is in China now, and I hope he can have a very constructive engagement with President Xi Jinping so as to sort out this thing, because we are losing out rapidly with China. China had a very robust ambition to engage Nigeria since in the early 2000s. I was involved in 2002, 2003 with them, with Huawei and many companies like that. But we have lost out greatly because we did not manage them very well. When Mambila Hydro was cancelled, up till now we have not recovered from that cancellation. When the railway contract signed by President Obasanjo, Lagos to Kano Express, was cancelled, we have not recovered properly from it.
Well,
there are many other things that were cancelled that we have not. So I hope the president can engage President Xi Jinping constructively and extract something back home for us to restart the relationship again. At the moment, it's not it's not too good, but I'm looking forward to something maybe more constructive. It's very
on that
unfortunate.
note,
we need them.
On that note,
Thank you
Mr.
very
Dan Kunle, I would like to thank you very much for joining us on today's edition of This Alive, this Sunday Talk Show.